Welcome to NBNR, the authority on unfiltered opinions and authentic player insight for Nebraska athletics. Connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and at nbnrpodcast.com.
We have a saying, no block, no rock.
You know, we just really love Utter. He's a junkyard dog.
Kenny Bell ran up to me. He's like, you know what you just did?
You get mad when you go get in the portal and go to another podcast?
You know, usually dumbbells are in pairs. They had 5 dumbbells.
Dang on it, Muhammad!
GB. Kyle! Cut it! Yeah,
Got
baby.
All right.
I mean, I was kind of late on the cut it. That's my fault right there. My bad.
Yeah.
All right. We need a drink up, and we need this No Block, No Rock episode to be all red, no black and gold. NBNR's second live show is once again at Nebraska Brewing Company. And we're going to give you all a Cornhusker welcome with a nice, healthy serving of Roulade. So we expect everybody to come up and show up. Don't leave without paying your tab, because we know who you are. And that's just not going to work. Go Big Red indeed. No Block, No Rock. Season 3, episode 20. If you know, you know. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. All right? Now, let's just go around. Let's talk about what we're drinking right now at the Nebraska Brewing Company Tap Room, 108th and Harrison in La Vista, Nebraska. I'm drinking the Kyle Byers Special. The Taco Veza.
Taco Veza.
Yes. How he did it. How he did it. It's so good. I started off kind of heavy with the IPA. I wanted to start off heavy. And on a lighter note, that's why I got the Taco Veza. Mike Delaware, to my left.
Yep.
What are you drinking, sir?
I'm drinking the Cow Tipper. I had to make sure I didn't drink the EOS today because, I didn't want to feel like Connor and drink the same thing every time. So
Okay, that seems...
I switched to my second go-to, which is the Cow Tipper, and it's a fantastic beer.
Okay. Now, we're just gonna go in order here, okay? This is where we come to our special guest. He has a voice made for radio, but his face
That's accurate.
but his face is okay too. Hail Varsity Radio's Chris Schmidt. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you for having me.
Risking life and limb and shitty wiper blades to come join us. What are you drinking, sir?
Same as you.
Okay.
Say it with me. I failed Spanish.
Taco Veza. Taco Veza.
Taco Veza.
Yeah.
KB.
Yep. You know I've got the Taco Veza. For
All right,
all
sir.
of you in attendance, you know the special here is either the Roulade, the frozen like slushy drink, and then you've also got the Taco Veza. So if you didn't know, that's what's on special right now. So Taco Veza is the way to go. And Connor.
And
I
this
feel like this
guy.
one's obvious. Most people here have probably listened to an episode or two. You know what I'm drinking. It is the Nebraska Pilsner. I am very boring. I don't care.
This fucking guy.
I don't care. It's just great.
All reliable, baby.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Why would I change? Don't fix what ain't broke.
Who said, come on, bro, come on. It's you. Okay, so let's just start this off. We have Chris Schmidt, obviously, and he is unique in that not only does he talk about Husker football for a living, but I feel like this is a very timely episode for us because, unfortunately, Mike Leach did pass away last week, and he is a guy who has a relationship with Mike Leach, and he's known him for a very long time. So, Chris, I just want you to kind of go into a personal story about Mike Leach. What kind of guy was he? I mean, we can kind of suspect what kind of guy he was. We hear everything from, just hilarious and off-kilter, right? So if you could just get into the kind of guy Mike Leach was and how you kind of connected with him.
The Pirate is one of a kind. His funeral tomorrow. And a lot of the stories you hear about Coach Leach, I'm one of thousands that had a chance to connect with him, stay in touch, and the most accommodating, most genuine, kindest, Power 5, insanely talented coach there is. So it goes back to just luck. Great football luck on my part, where I was working for Fox Sports Radio, and my job was to do pre-game hits from the stadium and then a post-game interview. And there was about a season and a half I got to do that. And be it the UCLA games or even some Big 12 matchups. So if you guys remember, Nebraska's coming off a Thursday night game. It's 2009. And that Thursday night game was a rainstorm like no other. And Sue tried to snap Blaine Gabbert's leg in half. All right? Nebraska did that, 27-point fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Huskers are ranked and feeling good. That's not far after that tough one in Virginia Tech where you led the whole game and then you just lost at the end.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you fast forward, Nebraska's taking on Texas Tech, and Tech comes in and really just steamrolls Nebraska. I think it was right after that you had the weird Iowa State loss.
6 turnovers?
6 fumbles. 9-7, right? That sound about right. So, anywho, Leach's Tech team comes into Lincoln and they win, and I'm in the visiting locker room underneath doing my job, and I get to do a one-on-one with him and connect him with the national Fox audience. And he's like, Bubba, you know where a guy can get a beer and a burger? Like, yeah, I do. He's like, well, you hungry? So that's how it kind of kicked off.
Sure.
Beer and a burger with the Pirate. I was fortunate enough to intern for Jack Arute, longtime ABC sideline guy, and he'd always do his ESPN radio job. Probably 3 times a year he was in Lincoln when Nebraska was winning a lot. And Jack would use our studio in ESPN Lincoln. So I'd intern for him, make sure nothing was on fire or whatever.
Right.
And Jack ended up connecting with Leach the year Leach was out of coaching, before Washington State, right after Tech. And his, every time he signed a biography, there was letters and numbers next to his signature. And it was CJK5H. Every book Mike Leach signed, Swing Your Sword, said, Coach Leach, CJK5H. And that stood for Craig James killed 5 hookers.
Shit.
Every book. And long and short, connected back with Leach. And he came on my show every day. I'm back in radio full time. I'm smiling, and Pirate's like, hey, you need me, Bubba? Like, well, sure, if you're not busy.
Come on now.
We'll take you every Thursday. Done. And we just kept in contact. As a thank you, I'd send him beef jerky, or we have some friends and relatives that have really awesome Nebraska beef, like so many of you may have family or friends. So I'd send him a load of steaks.
Love it.
And I got to send him some steaks this August and then pick his brain on Ireland. And he wanted pictures, so I got to send him pictures of Ireland and checked in with him. I don't know what time it was in Ireland, but we checked in. And I'm blessed enough to have a guy that took a young broadcaster and gave him time. And he did that to so many. I mean, you've probably read or seen stories about his kindness and how he just loved talking to everybody. So I feel really special, and I feel really happy for so many of folks that were touched by Mike Leach. And we talked to him 2 weeks ago Thursday. He sounded a little rough, like he typically does this time of year recruiting, but was just such a sweet guy, and I'm going to miss him.
This is where I turn it over to Kyle Byers. I know he wanted to do something special for Mike Leach.
Yeah. So, we've got this back up here. It's got the Leach, the pirate flag. So we just wanted to, just raise a glass to Mike Leach. And
we love you.
and just appreciate the reach that he had and the legacy he leaves behind college football.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, guys. You remember when Nebraska beat Iowa?
That was good.
What a great transition.
Very fluid.
Okay, I know. I just had to break that a little bit.
Lighten the mood like that fire over there.
Yes. Now I had shed some light on this a few minutes ago with our little intro. Chris Schmidt, are you making the trip to Colorado? Are you going to make it a little more red?
We went to Boulder in 19. Did shows in Boulder. We're going to Minnesota this year as well. So
Thursday night?
Thursday night. We'll be on the road for both.
Might see you there.
Yes, you will. But no, we'll be in Boulder. Boulder's a special place just because of the stories growing up where
the piss bombs.
Yeah, they're so kind.
Not just that, but my late father hated Colorado. But to get out of being with in-laws, he'd take us to Boulder when it was our turn to be out in western Nebraska. So we had plenty of experience in Boulder. I had a cousin who shockingly never graduated from Colorado, but went long enough to have a PhD and a doctorate.
Really?
Doesn't have either, but
So your dad was willing to risk, slash tires instead of being with in-laws.
possibly. But we had a good time, and that's where I took my college roommates were both from South Dakota, and so where are we going? Well, I took the first road trip we took them to was Boulder, and we're with my dad and his buddies, and they knew how to get after it from back in the 70s. So screwdrivers and bloodies and all that good stuff. And it was an 11 a.m. kick, 10:30 or 10 a.m. Mountain Time. So
that's an early one.
6 a.m. drinking is not frowned upon.
So Colorado football getting a lot of attention. Hey, listen, legal weed, Louis bags, and Lamborghinis, and prime time. Chris Schmidt, is it going to work?
Well, where have you been with Colorado? If you go through another retread or Power 5 guy that's been fired or NFL guy, I don't know I don't want to know how many times they've probably tried to talk Bieniemy into coming back. Okay, but Coach Barnett was on that search firm. Okay, the cat who got hired by Purdue, Walters was on the short list. But when he had a chance, they went after Rule as well.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Rule, when push came to shove, at that point thought he was going to sit out. So
wouldn't you?
Right on the list, short on the list was Coach Rule. And I think they were going to look at Walters pretty hard, but I think when push comes to shove, you go get Dion. The thing about Dion, with all the flash and the pomp, is he's an old school, hard-edged coach. And like him or not, sick that he's with Colorado or not, he has put a staff together, and he is going to hold kids accountable. It's a fairy tale for all of them right now.
Yeah, as long as they can eventually pay him.
But the minute they get and check in to do training camp, it's on. Yeah. And he will weed out the quitters. It is going to be throwback football, and Dion doesn't put up with any
BS.
Any BS is the best way to put it. So no, I think it will work.
Okay.
It's just a matter of if Colorado can pay the guy.
Yeah.
We don't have the money yet.
I wanted to see Ralphie in the backdrop with those Lamborghinis to see if they were really rented or if a donor was letting them borrow.
That's right. Let's let a loose buffalo around these things. See what happens.
Is that insurable?
And you know what's funny is Ralphie the buffalo probably has a better chance of getting those Lambos and those kids because
there's no NIL.
What's NIL? Come on. Like they're posing in front of these Lambos and they got the Louis bags that they're not even going to get because their NIL program sucks. And maybe that can change under Dion, but I can't imagine it's that much better than, of course, Nebraska's. But sorry, go on.
So, Chris, you mentioned that Dion is good at weeding out quitters. He has produced a lot of talent at Jackson State. Do you find his comments when he walked into Colorado and told those guys, just go hit the portal because I'm bringing my luggage and it's Louis.
I'm coming.
Do you find those comments concerning?
Not at all. From day one, he's letting you know where you stand. If you want to stay, you better show me you're worth staying. Otherwise, I'll bring in someone better than you, and I'm going to over-recruit, and you either have a choice to go win a job, find your role, be a team guy, buy in, or there's the portal. I mean, he did make it about himself, but that's always been Dion.
Yeah, that's who he is.
You know what you're getting. And you've traded the Buff brand, which is far removed from 30 years ago, winning a national championship for the Prime brand. And that's a great trade up for Colorado, especially if you're in a fledgling Pac-12 right now without Hollywood in 2 years.
Yep. And it is striking the difference because you had mentioned, hey, portal's right there. Don't hesitate, right? If you can't hack it, there it is. There's the door. But then you compare that with how Rule approached. This is supposedly because we didn't see the locker room like we did with Prime, but Rule had said, "Hey, I came here. I didn't choose. You didn't choose to come here because of me, but I'm choosing to coach you." So I just find that difference pretty stark. So I don't know which one's better. I don't know.
Well, I think they can both work, and you're going to keep seeing Dion in the Nebraska state, just like he's doing with Malachi. And you're going to see Coach Rule in Colorado. Nebraska is going to get back after it. I really like what he's assembled staff-wise from a recruiting standpoint. And I know there's still a couple more names to drop, but to get that 500-mile radius nailed down is important. And then to have as good a recruiters as he does, but more so developers.
Yes.
I mean, there's jury's out on all of it, right? There's no slam dunk. Things are supposed to work that haven't. But what you do know is the guy's a worker, and if he's half as good at developing as he is scouring the earth less than a month after being here, I think that bodes well. And I think history has shown, too, with his hires, he's been pretty good at picking hires.
Yeah. Young, hungry recruiters. And we've lacked retention and development.
And that's killed Nebraska football here for way too many years. And all of these guys, aside from being a certain age and having recruiting ties, be it Florida or the Northeast or that's one of the last things Coach Leach texted me was about Coach White. Because his defensive coordinator and Coach White were super tight. Tony White. And he's like, you're really going to like Tony White. I don't know him, but I think he's pretty good. Well, if Leach is telling you, well, I think he's pretty good, you can hear him saying it out loud. The guy's pretty darn good.
Yeah. So just touching on Rule a little bit more, I do love how on 9/11, after the firing of Scott Bleep, I know that Bleep, thank you. Trev had said, we want a guy with no outside hobbies.
Grinder.
Right? Ping pong, though.
Hey, apparently he's great at ping pong.
It's like losing at golf, though, to your clients. You're still golfing.
Yeah.
He's still playing ping pong, isn't he?
Listen, I'm willing to overlook the ping ponging as long as it's getting the building relationships, right? That's the banner that it's under, because he's doing it with the recruit's mom, so it's okay.
Does Noonan's mom love him? Yes. Did he get Maverick? Will he get Maverick Wednesday? Yes. He went and had Nigerian food.
That's right.
Right.
Prince Will?
Yeah, Prince Will down in Texas. Worked out all right. Went to the family restaurant. You got a top 40 rush in from the state of Texas.
That works.
That'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So his methods are so far so good.
So you had mentioned, and Mike too, the development philosophy, right? And in this new age of the portal, where it seems like kids are more willing to enter the Bermuda Triangle that is the portal, right? Who knows where they're going to end up? It's like the Twilight Zone out there. They're more willing to do that than to stick it out for 2, 3, 4 years. So I'm just curious, Chris, with your personal knowledge, with the guys that you talk to, how is the Rules philosophy of development going to ebb and flow? How is it going to work? Is it going to work in this new age of the portal and all that?
His background, as brief as it was, helped him with roster management. Okay. You look at what Mel Tucker did at Michigan State. How did he hit a home run to the tune of 9.5 a year? He got lightning in a bottle with Kenneth Walker. But the point is his NFL background too also helped him be a couple, 3 steps ahead with this roster management, with the portal, with year one of the portal. Nebraska is going to be meticulous. I think Rule's going to be meticulous. He's uber organized. And I think you're seeing it with 2 quarterbacks in the portal, plus the fact you're going to beg Casey to come back.
You think they will?
I
with
would.
Sims coming?
I mean, Sims is good. Is Sims a thrower? He's decent. He can be better, and I'm sure he's going to work on being better. Is Casey a runner? Running for his life.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You know, he's pretty effective when he's running for his life. He's not bad.
No, I mean, he's
With that
athletic.
O-line, he's got no other options.
He's athletic. So, you know, Casey's not going to be around for you for spring because of the shoulder surgery. Okay.
Right.
So you got to go out and look out for number one, but don't just kick Casey to the curb. I mean, let it be a competition. You had Sims sacked 51 times in 3 years.
He had
Georgia Tech.
Didn't he get sacked more than he threw touchdown passes? Isn't that a stat that I heard?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking 7-5 touchdown to interception ratio. His second season, 5-5 this year, but he missed a lot of time with a foot injury and was 13-13 his first year. So his completion percentage went up, which shows that, okay, you keep working, you'll get better. But I like the direction of a dual threat. And quite honestly, you can sprinkle that in with Casey a little bit. Is he durable enough? Is anybody durable enough? It's a question.
Right.
That's why you need 2 or 3 quarterbacks on your roster. So when it gets to second team or third team, you're not stuck like you were this year.
Did you see that drop off this year?
No,
It was
absolutely.
Did you see the strain?
Oh,
The strain.
The straight.
thank you, Iowa car salesman.
Like, we got to have depth. And when I say we, I mean the Nebraska football team. I am not on the team, but
You're not?
geez,
Since
I
when?
don't believe it or not. I might have CTE, but not from that, not from being on the team. But seriously, like, depth is sorely needed. So you got Sims. Casey's got the shoulder. Logan Smothers, I think he is also having surgery,
Shoulder.
right? Chubba, we saw Chubba.
Ankle.
We saw Chubba.
He's not.
Decision making.
We saw him. I mean, that's
You saw some. Well, you do this more often. It's all right. I mean, that first drive he was in against Minnesota.
oh, I know.
Everyone's like, okay,
Yeah.
wow, he got coached up in a week.
Yeah. Wow.
But then
As the game, 4 quarters. The game is 4 quarters, y'all.
You sure?
I wish it wasn't.
Are you sure? We would have a lot more wins, right?
Scott Bleeb would still be our head coach. Anyway,
can you find a kid that's willing to wait his turn and get better
Yeah.
versus just jumping?
That's
That
what.
comes down to personality profile, and that comes down to being able to connect and gain trust.
Well, that makes me wonder if Casey's going to actually stay, though, because with bringing in Jeff Sims and then you brought in the Hornsby guy from Arkansas this past weekend, it's like is the writing on the wall for Casey to look elsewhere?
I think there is, but you look at Hornsby and Sims, and they're also speed freaks.
Yes.
And they're all 10 dot something 100-meter guys.
I mean, Hornsby might just be an athlete, right?
He's big time. And you're not going to just let him gather dust. You're going to use him. If they're your backup quarterback, so be it. If they're your wildcat quarterback, so be it. But you're going to play him. You're going to go get guys that are difference makers with speed and change of direction. And you have, I think they'll get Hornsby. They have Sims, and whoever wins the job, great. Now the question is, what are you doing rep-wise? Are you throwing them both at wide receiver, keep one at wide out, keep one at quarterback, and make sure they get enough reps during the week that it's not Grand Canyon time between first and second team?
Yeah. I think like with Casey, something that has been brought up is like they're expecting him to miss spring ball, right? Because of his shoulder surgery. So there's an aspect to that because he's so smart. He's so like analytical. He could tell you every stat about the opposing team every single week. He like really reads into it, right? So like he could honestly probably learn the offense sitting out spring ball, but it's still a big thing. You know, that offensive coordinator, can he trust that he can just learn the offense sitting on the sideline, or is he going to start moving towards these guys they're bringing in?
He's a good enough prepper that he'll get down what he needs to get down. It's a matter of getting rapport with who he's got on the roster now.
Yeah,
which is ever changing.
Casey's a grinder, and you mentioned, you know, a lot of these guys that are looking for this portal sometimes are really just looking for playing time. I don't think that's necessarily what Casey wants or needs. I obviously need
Playing time?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, right. We mentioned this number just before the show too. Is what was it, 47.3 is the percentage of players that either when they enter this portal downgrade or go nowhere. And I think Casey understands that and understands the development he can get into the staff. Hopefully we can bring him a great QB coach for him and see a lot of these guys succeed that way and just grinding. And I think that's who Casey is.
There's got to be enough connection or backdrop with Rule's time at Baylor and knowing the Thompson family. They've had to at least cross paths before, right? I don't know that or not. I haven't checked in with Papa Bear Thompson, but he'll give it a long look. I mean, the alternative is he's going after another master's or something, a third degree.
He's an old man. He's an old
25, 26-year-old.
I get it. And so the question he's asking himself and going it over with is, do I have a better shot of landing on an NFL team, winning a job at a different spot, or staying here and flipping this program?
And he's already kind of talked about like his life after football and starting a training facility.
He's going to start a Warren Academy somewhere where he ends up.
Yeah.
Do you know Charles?
He's been on with us for Oklahoma Week.
Yeah.
But they're not boys, but I mean,
okay.
We could shoot him a text. Hey, what's Casey doing? It's just us listening.
Yeah. Hey, we got a Bluetooth option on this mixer.
Yeah,
just don't tell him he's on
call him
air.
right now.
Charles, what's up?
So speaking, let's stick with this talk of quarterbacks, okay? Now, when Matt Rule chose to retain, of all coaches from the previous staff, it was Donnie, right? Mm-hmm. And me personally, I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
You swore and threw things. I know.
Oh yeah. I'm like, well, like I get it. Okay, that O-line, and I even said at the beginning of the season, I'm like, people are gonna think Donnie Raiola is a shitty head coach because of the situation he is inheriting. So people, and at the end of the season, I kind of turned into that guy. Like, oh God, they brought him back.
What did we say he got dealt?
A shit sandwich.
A shit sandwich.
Tasty, not a pulled pork.
Not like this pulled pork sandwiches out there. Make sure you guys go get some of
They're
those.
right behind you guys.
But we see Dylan decommitting from Ohio State. And it's all coming together now, isn't it?
And it's so funny because we were just we were such hard believers. Like, no way. There's no way they're just bringing him here to get Dylan and just.
I'm like, the O-line. We cannot sacrifice O-line for a QB who might be the best QB of all time, but if you don't have a line in front of him, it's not going to matter. But
you're gonna find a way to protect your own blood.
Yeah. Well, here's a fun fact about Dylan. Dylan is the highest rated quarterback recruit since Vince Young. He's a 1.0 rated recruit.
You know, Vince Young was set to come to Nebraska.
How'd that go?
Oh, just make me sad.
And somebody that was supposed to seal it up didn't.
Sounds familiar.
Wait,
yeah, it does.
was that
I'm
former
serious.
head coach Scott?
No,
come on.
No.
Hey, listen, beyond him, there have been far.
Broderick Thomas had Vince Young delivered to Nebraska.
Broderick. Sandman.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the story or what?
The urban legend is all it was going to take was one of the assistant coaches for Nebraska to stop by and see Vince. And Broderick had things smoothed over.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's a cousin or nephew or something. I should be more specific on my urban legend, but that's what I was told.
Interesting. They always have ties to Nebraska.
Yeah, everyone.
The ones that we swing and miss on, especially.
Well,
those are the ones you hear about, right?
Think about it.
If they came here, we'd be
think about
talking
the last
about them
20
anyway.
years. I mean, Lamar Jackson,
Yep.
Joe Burrow, Duggan.
Yep.
Dude, stop.
I'm going to cry. I will cry up here.
Okay, so
4.
So are you here to kill our Dylan Raiola vibe?
Not at all.
Or are you here to stoke the fire? Because look, we have been disappointed many times. Like, I'm trying to keep my expectations low. So Dylan Raiola,
Georgia's going to win back-to-back championships.
Yeah.
USC has produced 3, or at least Lincoln Riley's produced 3 of the last 5 Heisman winners. Then there's Nebraska with dad and uncle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your triangle right now. And if you do decent in year 1, and you're not at home for the holidays, maybe you get some momentum. Ohio State absolutely screwed that thing up.
Well, they were
So
the writing was on the wall though when they got a commitment from a 2023 quarterback, because that was the promise. Is
Yeah, we're not going to go after a 2023.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the South Dakota kid.
Yep. Who we also didn't take a chance at.
Actually, Rule and those guys were late to him, but they tried to get him.
Yeah.
But the former guy, swing and miss.
I don't have any clue what the process was with quarterback evaluation.
I mean,
I don't. I absolutely don't.
they don't either.
Yeah.
No,
As a staff.
I mean, you had Mackenzie Milton and Mariota, so there's some history there, okay? Those aren't bad. Herbert's not bad.
No.
He's pretty good.
He's all right.
Right?
I'd say it's okay.
So, and I got to just go one-sided here, but here
Right.
in Nebraska, the plan wasn't executed.
Not well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you for putting it classy. So you had mentioned like
Is this the button?
Right on the perfect button.
did you know?
What's even greater is you guys can't see this. He can't see the screen. He did not know which button he was clicking, and he still got it right.
And you wonder why we had him on. Holy shit. Okay, so we had talked a lot about like Malik Hornsby, these fast guys, right? Rule likes these track guys that run 10-second hundreds and all that. Now, there are skeptics out there. I'm not going to say I'm one of those people because I am sipping the Roulade.
I don't know
It's
why.
mentality. You're worried about mentality,
Well-
right? Can a track guy get hit over the middle in the Big Ten in November when it's 4 degrees and get up and make a play?
Here's the concern. Can they block? This is no block, no rock.
Hell, say it again.
You might be able to fly down the field, but can you block when it matters? That's the big thing.
I'll
Swing
tell you
pass.
what, it wasn't the big.
Just send him deep and make sure it's in man, and you don't need to block.
It's true. I'll
Does
tell you
Tyreek
what,
Hill block?
It wasn't the Big Ten, but Jamar Chase did pretty great in that 2019 season. That was pretty nice.
Well, you know, you heard this a lot with Frost. He wanted to blend the Oregon speed with what Nebraska old school strength.
Yeah, the Big
Boy,
Ten
that
would
boy-
have to adjust for us.
Right. And so, like, we heard that last time, Oregon speed, and we see all these track guys, you know, that are unheralded. And in fact, I've become more interested in recruiting as of late because he is going after these unheralded, sometimes faceless guys where, hey, Matt Rule has a history of identifying talent. And so these websites are going to be like, whoa, what if Rule sees something, maybe we need to reevaluate things.
They all of a sudden go from no star to 3-star.
Instantly.
Right.
Yeah. Every time.
Just because he thinks they're a fit, if they can put some weight on their frame, they have great speed, and they're explosive. I mean, they're quick twitch athletes that you get in space. I don't know if you're Chiefs fans or not, but how many guys does Kansas City have on their roster like Tariq? They just get the football to him in space, get a block or two, gone.
One, Travis Kelce.
Mecole.
Yeah, right?
Right. So we had talked a little bit about assistants, and one of the most noteworthy guys was Tony White, who we had mentioned earlier, coming from Syracuse.
Mr. White.
Mr. White.
Mr. White.
Yeah!
Walter.
Defense!
Sorry. What?
Instead of science.
You smell what I'm sipping in. So he's known for the 3-3-5 defense, which of course is a very umbrella term for what they're probably going to do, right? Mix and match, mixed coverages, mixed blitzes, and all that stuff. But can't you just see the headlines like 2 or 3 years from now, like the 3-3-5 defense is known for defending the spread. We should have known this wasn't going to work in the Big Ten, so why the hell did they do it? So Chris Schmidt, this 3-3-5 that Tony White is bringing, why is it going to work? Why does Rule want to bring Tony White to Nebraska?
Tony White's young. He's a recruiter. He's a developer. He is another guy that has recruiting ties. And with this 3-3-5, I know TCU runs it. I know Oklahoma runs it. I know Leach ran it at Mississippi State. So it does live in some Power 5 regions, not just the ACC.
Iowa State, yeah, they run it. But you can adapt to what you're facing. You're going to have a 4th down lineman against, assuming Wisconsin doesn't go full air raid, they may, but against Iowa, against Michigan,
you're going to have to go heavy. I think things will shift to either a pod or just a wide open Big Ten. So you're going to have to be able to be versatile in how and who you match up with versus just surviving the West. Illinois is going to be no fun, but if you get some dudes off the edge that can confuse a quarterback, and also you can run stunt a little bit, you'll be able to survive it. Bottom line is having tough physical guys on the line, whether it's 3 or 4 down linemen.
Yeah,
Right, period. And that's what they're going to try and do, and that's what they're going to try and win with, and they'll have depth behind it theoretically.
You said the magic word for me, and that's adapt. And everything I've been hearing about Tony White from guys that he's worked with in the past is that he's very adaptable. This man is willing to recognize the environment he's in and kind of change his scheme for that. And I think that's honestly one of the most promising things for me to hear.
To your point about scheme, though, that's the other thing. Someone put it to me this way. One of the coaches I talk with, he's like, imagine what college football has to do now when they play a service academy team. They got to. We don't play option football. What's this Air Force and Army?
Jeff Monken. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
But the point is it really screws up your practice, and you don't fare very well when Army's tucked in between Ole Miss and Wisconsin. Say that's on your schedule.
Right.
There's this complete curveball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, his 3-3-5 is like that defensively. It's like the option for defense. You don't see it that often. How do I scheme against it? And it's confusing to a freshman quarterback with 5 stars, or it's confusing to a veteran quarterback who hasn't seen it. And it's one thing to watch it on film. Here's another new wrinkle. What am I looking at? Oh, my God. And then there's 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and theoretically there's a strip sack.
I think one of the things that just like scared me, just reading everybody's kind of reaction to like this new defense they're bringing in. It's just like, yeah, they can disguise the blitzes, and these blitz packages can come from wherever, and they can just kind of scheme it up. And I'm like, that's kind of what Bob Diaco told us. And then we learned he couldn't speak English, and we're like, this isn't going to work.
Can you simplify it enough to play fast?
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what Bush did.
Right.
They just had a couple of checks, and they went after the football, and you dropped what you were allowing by 7 points a ball game once he took over.
Keep it simple. Stupid. Right?
Yep.
Chins, keep it simple. And you said option for defense.
I'm glad I'm on this side of the table.
What are you doing to me, Chris?
Towel?
You need one.
No, I'm good. It wasn't that much. I'm all right. So maybe we can go around the table with this, and maybe this can be our last segment before the break.
Yeah, that's
cool.
Totally fun. Yep.
Works.
Which assistant coach hire are you most excited, curious about out of all these guys that Rule's hired so far? I will start with Christmas Connor, if you don't mind.
Oh, that's fine. I actually, I couldn't narrow it down to just one.
Right. Of course not.
So I was, of course not. I was, and I think I might be the only one up here, excited for the Raiola retention. But the one that I just am unreasonably excited about is Corey Campbell.
Because you saw the picture.
No, the man's just an animal. I
Do
mean,
you
look
have
what
a
he's
poster?
Yeah.
Next to his
not
bed.
signed yet, but I'm waiting.
It's one of those fat heads he's got.
It's on my wall.
Yeah, it's right next to his bed.
And you
No,
thought
it's on my ceiling. I stare at it when I go to sleep.
and you thought I got excited about option and defense?
Yeah, Corey
Anyway,
Campbell, just an animal. What he's done so far, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that.
Okay.
Yeah, those were the two that I was like, I couldn't decide, so I had to put two up there.
Replacing Duval.
And I didn't hate Duval. I wasn't like in love.
I did by year 4. I did.
Yeah. I didn't hate the guy, but I thought that I know that Corey Campbell's an improvement.
What good is an all bus team if you can't fucking move?
Right.
I mean, hey, the photos were great.
Bus has got to start.
Right?
Kyle Byers, who's on your assistant coach excited list that you're getting really, really excited about?
Yeah, we talked about it. The shit sandwich that Raiola was dealt. I just want to see Matt Rule is going to have such a hand in the line of scrimmage. He's made that very clear. At least I hope that he sticks to his word on that. So I hope with a little bit of guidance and just a little bit more time for Raiola, you keep hearing all these different reports about, Donovan Raiola's, he's coaching the right things, and maybe the things that Whipple was running wasn't very complimentary to what, he was that was like in his wheelhouse. Mm-hmm. So hopefully I'm excited just to see if there's any sort of progression with this new offense and with Matt Rule.
So Chris Schmidt, I had made this joke last week on the pod, like you saw 54 on an extra point attempt. And look, listen, we don't know all about offensive line and their scheme and all that. But the video that was going viral was 54 not getting out of his stance or moving at all. And the whole Raiola philosophy is fire off the ball.
Strike first.
And so it's just very funny to see that.
He'll get to make sure that happens now, because when you got Mount Whipple wanting to throw the football, going empty on
75-25.
No, and I liked Whipple. I mean, there was he dialed up some good games this year. Iowa's game plan was good. Purdue was good. Yeah. I know, and then you went from hero to zero because of your backup quarterback development or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. Now, listen. Whipple is crusty and old and grumpy, and it's my way. And he's been successful for 4 decades in football, doing that at a lot of different levels, at the highest level and at the smallest level. But he's not going to, dare I say, negotiate with what he wants to do. There's zero room for gray area or compromise. And if you're Raiola and you sit down and you talk to Rule, and Rule wants you to fire off, and Donnie's like, that's kind of what I would like to do. I was told that Raiola wanted the linemen, and they all dieted during the summer.
Wow.
So you had those guys down 30, 40 pounds from what they were, and then they were going to put it back on, but put it back on in lean mass, allegedly. That way they were going to be a little more athletic, fire off the ball, go that route, and be able to just fire away and drive block. Well, if you're not emphasizing the run and you're not drive blocking, then you're kind of up a creek with what Raiola's philosophy is. Versus Whipple, where we're going to throw the ball 60 times a game or 50 or whatever. I don't think they ever eclipsed that. But the point is it was going to be passed first, second, third, and then maybe we'll surprise them with a run.
We'll surprise them with a draw up the middle on 3rd and 14.
Stop it.
Every
They'll
time.
never see it coming.
Mike,
The Tecmo Bowl, I know.
Tecmo Bowl.
Give me Bo Jackson.
Shoot.
So I like Foley.
Yeah, I heard he's got a personality on him.
He's got a personality at special teams, but what you're going to have right now with Nebraska is 3 set of eyes on the offensive line beside Raiola.
Yep.
You're going to have Foley because he's an O-line coach.
Yeah.
Satterfield's obviously coached some O-line before. And then you're going to have Rule.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have Foley. I want to say Matt Foley so bad.
Yeah.
Lottie freaking die.
There's a river right around Lincoln.
But
we can find a van.
There's a few. Windowless vans, stay away from.
You got to be specific.
You've got Foley, you've got Rule, and then you're going to have Raiola. I like those sets of eyes to make the line better.
Okay. Mike, who you got on your short list there, brother?
To me, Marcus Satterfield is a very interesting hire to me. Because it's what have you done for me lately?
Went out on top, didn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
What have you done for me lately? And to me, I mean,
Two best wins in college football?
Yes, 100%. This entire season, he's had the 2 best wins in college football. To me, I saw what he did with Spencer Rattler, who is a head case in his own. Mm-hmm. I'm interested to see what he can do with the Casey Thompson or a Sims. But to me, yeah, he interests me, and like he's got emphasis on the offensive line. He's coached all over the offensive side of the ball, and yeah, I like that hire.
Pretty interchangeable, right? With a lot of the coaches, they've been at different spots.
Right. And yeah, to your point about Satterfield, he comes from the SEC with Rattler, and they threw a lot, and so I'll be interested just to see. He seems like a guy who is able to evolve and change and adjust.
Yeah, he has history of changing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so I'll just throw a guy out there that we haven't heard. E.J. Barthel, running backs.
Excited.
If you know anything about me, I am all about
running the ball.
No, not just running the ball, okay?
I saw it run the damn ball out here earlier. There it is.
There he is.
There it is.
But fucking A. Amen. I'm all about traditional I-back run game. If you can just establish that simple caveman thing, because that's what football is. It's about real estate. It's about being tougher than the other guy in
Run up
front
to
of
their
you.
face
There's a
mask.
reason why I didn't play football. I can't do it.
Why?
Okay?
Why?
Because
Why can't you do it?
If I looked at you right now, I immediately think 4-star.
Rule would not recruit me. All right? I'm not fast. I'm not tough. But I'm just going to say Barthel, it just seems like he's a dude that Jim Nora Jr., who as soon as Barthel was hired away from Nebraska, Nora, who had Barthel as his assistant, was like, go on and do great things, brother. Like, he's a great one. You're getting a great one. Hopefully he can keep A.J. Allen around. I feel like A.J. Allen's a guy that he's like the offensive equivalent of Hausman.
Yeah.
You know, like small sample, I guess, but he had flashes, and I think it'd be very important to keep him. So I'm going to say Barthel. I think he seems like a great recruiter.
Yeah, landed Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
He's a pretty good
Is
guy.
Micah Parsons good? Is he good at football?
He's better at Dallas than he was at Penn State, and he was pretty good at Penn State.
Yeah.
Did you ever attend that Friday Night Lights thing that's like the historical thing that everybody talks about with
Yeah,
Micah
where he's
Parsons?
running down the sidelines.
Playing receiver, corner, and
I'm
everything?
sure I was at gunpoint. I had to take my wife out to dinner that night. It wouldn't have flown to say, hey, can I go watch high schoolers and spandex run around? And I know folks have to do that. I just got out of it.
Good.
Thank God.
I wouldn't do it either.
No, 2016 recruiting coordinator for James Franklin.
Yeah.
Barthel. So
Yeah. So I'm excited about Barthel, personally. Okay, now this is the time where we take a little break. We're going to get some more brewskis. You guys get some more brewskis.
Chris is going to eat some food.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris has had a long
I'm gonna
day.
buy some new windshield wipers.
So we'll be back in 15 minutes.
I heard there are still raffle tickets for sale.
Yes.
I heard that.
Buy raffle tickets.
Oh,
we
wow,
have
that's crazy.
an autographed helmet by Levante David and a signed baseball by Will Bolt.
And most importantly, we have a signed Nebraska Brewing Company sign with us, and then Chris is going to sign it as well.
Yeah,
So-
we haven't told Chris that yet, but
You've
we're going
just
to
absolutely destroyed the value of that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. Nobody wants my signature on something.
I love it.
Yeah, so go
We'll
buy
sign
raffle
it-
tickets.
We'll sign it like Elvis being Deion Sanders.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Every time he'd get an autographed baseball in spring training, he'd sign it Elvis and throw it to the kids.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of funny.
Hey, just don't do Mike Leach's signature.
No, I can't.
You can't.
No, I don't know how to.
All right, guys, we're going to do that. We'll be right back.
Take a break.
Okay. All right, so as we come back from break, we're going to do a little reminiscing, a little retrospective of this past season. As painful as it might be, as funny as it might be. Because I think we might find some humor in the way things went. Okay? So I'm just going to go around, and maybe we can do the same
We'll
order.
start this side this time.
You want me
Yeah.
to start?
Yeah, we want you to start.
You started down here last time.
Yes.
Take it yourself.
All right, hold on. I know we just got back from break, but let me All right. Favorite moment of the 2022 season. Well, it's come down to a couple things. I'm trying to debate between the onside kick at Northwestern and
No, that was
Ireland.
in Ireland. So this went to.
or is my favorite moment giving up 650 yards to Georgia Southern? Which one is my favorite moment? Well, which one was the one that got Scott hired?
Fired.
Sorry, these are very tall glasses. Was it the onside kick or was it the 650 yards that was the ultimate nail in the coffin? Which one? Probably the Georgia Southern, right? So I'm gonna say that's my favorite moment of the season because it got that out of office.
Losing to a 1-11 football team probably.
It hurts.
Now look,
It hurts.
that's the more humorous side, okay? Some other moments I'm gonna throw out there because I think you guys might have the more obvious ones, but how about Anthony Grant just Terrence Crawfording some dude?
Oh, that was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Like that stands out a lot.
I thought he killed a man. Like on the
I
field.
thought I saw
he
it.
killed a
You
man.
guys want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
I do have a couple more moments, but I want to see what you guys say and see if I'll chime in. So, Mike, what was your favorite moment of the 22 season.
IOLOLA. Hey, did you guys know we beat Iowa finally? Thank God.
Jesus.
It's still funny. It is still funny.
It will
They
never not
lost
be funny.
to one of the worst Nebraska football teams of all time. So to me, that is
Terrible.
hilarious.
Yeah.
You just swap beers with me?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to knock it over. That's all.
Don't
To
worry
me,
about it.
that is the best moment because apparently we live rent free in their head no matter how many times they beat us. And to me, that was my favorite moment. I was standing on a booth at Varsity Roman Coin to the last seconds. And then
What else?
we were supposed to go to Dodge Street. But,
Yeah, I
I ended up at the Millard bars and it's okay. I
think
had a
all
great
of us,
time.
by the end of that game, were far too drunk to get to Dodge.
Okay.
Street.
Well, I called.
We promised it, and none of us fulfilled in any way.
I'm not a huge fan of free plugs, but I called Varsity and I was like, "Are you guys still doing your Friday, happy hour deal where you get half price apps and happy hour till, 7, 8 o'clock, whatever it is?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, it's Friday, so duh." I was like, "All right, I'll be there, duh." And yeah, it was a fantastic time, and we finally beat the Hawk Cries.
Yeah. By the time that game was over, I only had 3 words that I could articulate very clearly. Fuck yeah, bitch. That's all I could really do at that point. So
The Iowa fans did not like you posting that either.
cry.
Cry for me.
Hot
Give
cry.
me your tears.
So tasty. Chris Schmidt.
We give you a leather jacket. You could be Scott Farkas.
Yeah. I love it.
Mike's Ralphie.
What are you gonna do? Cry now? Cry, baby, cry.
No, Ireland was an incredible experience to be able to go there, do shows from a pub that was built in 1857.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
And then the fourth quarter ended, and it
Suddenly you were happy you were in a pub?
yeah.
It all comes full circle, doesn't it?
I was. We finished the year in Iowa City, right across from Kinnick, doing our shows, and I think seeing Garrett Nelson and the crew with the trophy in the stands celebrating, that's got to be mine. You've had a yo-yo season of ups and downs, injury, dismissals, next man up mentality, and covered the team since 98. And this is as crazy of a year as there's been. And there's been a lot of them.
Yeah.
Every 5 years you get higher and fire and higher and fire. And you're trying to patch together a recruiting class. But the way some former Nebraskans came back and stepped forward to try and stabilize and stay competitive was pretty impressive.
KB, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess mine isn't as humorous as some of the other guys, but I don't know. I think for most of you know that I run like all of the videos and things like that, like the produced stuff, not the TikTok king. I'm like the produced video guy. A lot of the content, photos.
Kyle's View Productions, by the way.
Yeah,
Go follow and all that shit.
So I think there was a video that was put out after the Indiana and the Rutgers wins, like back to back, right after Scott Frost had been fired, and there was just a whole lot of like celebration, and everybody was, there was a lot of like high expectations after that. Yeah, unity. Everybody was all on board, like we're ready to go. So that was a happy time, and then we ended up the way that we did, but nonetheless, I think like my favorite moment was just like the celebration after those back-to-back wins. Like everybody was really happy and ready to go. So
Right on. Christmas Connor.
All right. So I had 3 written. 2 of them have been covered already.
Okay.
The 2 that were covered was when the clock ticked 0 against Iowa. Obviously, I think everybody's pretty happy.
LOL.
The other one was the firing of former head coach Scott. And then the one that actually like really did stand out, it is my number 1 on this list. And it's not one memory, it is a performance. Art, if you will.
Art.
Trey Palmer, 7 receptions, 237 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Purdue. I mean, like
7 receptions, 700 yards for 7 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We might have actually won if he did that.
I mean,
Did he play defense?
yeah,
No.
that's
No.
not even football. That is art. I mean, that is Pablo Palmer over here, Pablo Picasso,
Wow.
Trey Picasso, whatever you call him. That's beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just gorgeous.
It was poetic.
I might be crying right now. Just don't look at me that closely.
I think back to the introductory press conference and the big T word, trenches. I got to see on my Christmas Nebraska football wish list some hog mollies. I need more hog mollies. Give me all the hog mollies.
It's funny. I was waiting
Please,
to bring
Santa.
it up because I'm looking at your notes on the other side of my screen here.
Yeah.
And there's a note that just with like 4 question marks just says, "Where are the hog
Where
mollies?"
Where are they?
So I was just
I
looking at
need
that.
hog mollies. So that's on my Christmas wish list. Mike, what's on your Christmas wish list?
All right, personal. We're gonna just throw out another successful year with the boys on the podcast. 2023, we hope is as successful as 2022. Yeah, I absolutely love doing this, and yeah, that's what I hope on my personal list. For my football list, I want a fucking bowl game. Win 6 games. Everybody makes a bowl game. Charmin Ultra, I don't care.
Charmin Ultra Bowl.
Win 6 games to make a bowl game. I don't care if you even win the bowl game. Just make a bowl game.
make it.
Everybody makes one. Chris, what do you have?
Oh, I wishes granted. I'm away from my wife for about 5 days down in Arizona.
She's totally watching right now. Totally.
She's sent me. I mean, it's
Oh,
a
shit.
win-win. I'm kidding. No, Arizona, 5 days with family doing that. And to echo your point, bowl game, preferably Arizona next year. That'd be fun to cover.
Are you gonna go do a little golfing while you're there?
I'm going to try.
If we make one?
Not golden tee, actual golf.
No, I'm going to golf. I just, I needed to warm up a touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Nebraska
better
foot-
than here.
Nebraska football and golf in Arizona, 2 things that have gone well notoriously. Yeah.
KB, what you got, brother?
Yeah, I'll echo the golf stuff, man. Like Mike and I are the avid golfers of the group. So
Some golf better than others.
yeah. My Christmas list, it's usually just has something to do with golf. Putter covers, whatever, anything.
Hey, take notes. Take notes.
Yeah.
Whoever's
Yeah.
buying gifts for Kyle.
Yeah.
All these putter covers.
Yeah. But no, Nebraska football, man, the number one thing on my list, I just want to see progress. We spent the last 5 years drinking the Kool-Aid, reading the titles of the articles and
Some
the
did.
reports.
Mm-hmm.
And it always seemed like, we're so close and we're going to get there next year and next year and next year. I just finally want to see some sort of progress. And I'll tell you the progress in specific that I'm looking for is something, like you said, Jared, in the trenches. Some sort of progress there. Anything.
Trench warfare, baby.
Yep. So, Connor, what do you got?
Personally, and I know my parents are out there somewhere. If you're there, I can't see you're behind a light.
It's very bright up here.
Yeah, I can hear him. I can hear
Did you hear
him.
that disembodied voice?
Yeah. God, is that you?
Right.
No, that's your daddy.
Daddy.
That feels weird. Don't say that. But I know, she's a tough ask. But Husker season tickets would be great. Preferably, give me some good
Maybe
seats.
an East Stadium now.
Yeah, give me some good
Sweet.
seats.
As long as you're asking.
Yeah, sweet. It'd be cool.
Yeah, actually, I take it back. I want a suite. Heads up, stocking stuffer.
Wow.
For Nebraska football on that wish list, this feels weird to ask for an underage kid, but Dylan Raiola. Can I ask for that? Can I say that?
Legally, I don't think so.
For the team, not for me.
Okay, go to jail
Jesus.
for the team.
Take the camera
For
off
the
me.
team.
Put it on him. I didn't say it.
The police are getting ready to kick into us right now.
He wants Dylan. He wants Dylan, not his brother.
No, Dylan Raiola.
He wants
not
Dylan
my
for
brother.
Christmas.
You'll
Not
get
my
his
brother.
uncle and like it. Okay. Are we, we're good, right? Nothing else from
Yeah,
you?
no, that's it.
Okay, good.
I don't need to incriminate any further.
Okay, so this is kind of Kyle's little thing here. I don't know if you had the mic ready for.
Yeah, my man Austin there in the
Austin.
corner. He's got the microphone. So we've got this thing set up, right? So if you have a question, a comment, anything you'd like to add to the show, this is your moment. We've got Chris Schmidt up here. He's been covering it since how long, Chris?
98.
A while.
A while. Yeah, we won't go into
Leave it at that.
specifics. But this is your chance to take advantage of Chris Schmidt here. So
Legally.
No,
legally.
yeah.
Anything for the good of the group.
Raise your
Come
hand.
on.
Yeah.
We were out there. No, we're going to ask you some asses.
Yeah, I know Jake Curtis was
Here we
out
go.
there.
Okay, my question is that on?
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we
yeah.
hear you.
I hear you.
All right, I've heard rumors, other people speaking, that if Matt Rule can't take this program forward, that it's over. Nebraska will never come back from it, that this is it. Matt Rule or die.
You're at a bit of a tipping point because that was the rumors 5 years ago.
With Scott.
If Scott can't do it, no one can.
Exactly.
So you're getting further and further away from respectability.
Yeah.
6 years of no bowl games when the world goes to bowl games. So it needs to get flipped. And what's the line you need to hit and how soon? All that's up for discussion, but I think you could get to a bowl game next year or real close, be competitive, right? But his year twos have really told the tale at his previous stops. Carolina, of course, excluded. And I think by year two, you'll see some progress. It's going to be a whole different world than we're used to because of what the Big Ten is going to become. And the Big Ten is going to be UCLA, and it's going to be USC, and it's going to probably be a divisionless conference, or at worst, you may have an Iowa or a Minnesota to deal with, but probably one of the California schools. So what do you need to do? You need to be able to beat everybody for sure, but you're not going to have to per se go year after year where you're playing Illinois, Wisconsin, Michigan, all those smash mouth teams consecutively. So it's going to shift up a bit, and you'll see offenses more like what Ohio State does, what Penn State does, and of course USC and UCLA.
All right. Well, okay, then my wish list for Nebraska is to see a head coach stick around for more than 5 years.
Amen.
I think we all want that.
Because chances are, if they're sticking around for more than 5 years, something's all right.
They won
But,
games.
but here's the thing, though. I will kind of counter that. A guy like Matt Rule, could he want to go back to a Penn State where, hey, if he leaves after, let's say, 3 years,
You make his
If-
buyout so astronomical, he doesn't think about Penn State anymore.
Exactly.
fair enough.
Gentlemen, another thing I thought about up here, we should be repeating question. I don't know if everybody can hear off that mic.
No, I got it in here.
No, I don't know if they
Out
can
there.
hear.
Oh, can you guys
Yeah.
hear it?
I don't give a
point.
shit about you.
Yeah, you'll repeat it.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
All
OG Herbie
right.
hat, baby. Let's go, baby. What you got?
Okay, I'm drinking the Roulade, right?
Cheers.
Hell
2,
yeah,
3,
cheers.
4 years, absolutely. Our question back here is more so, what should our expectations be for next year? Mike, is 6 wins doable? Is that a wish list item, or is that something as a Husker fan we should expect? The schedule is okay. I've looked at it.
But it's
We do it.
as long as we said the schedule is easy.
Yeah.
But holy shit, other teams look at Nebraska. They say, we can win that shit.
When
Anyway, but yeah, Mike, that's for you, boy.
he directed at me, so I can't wait
yeah,
to answer
Mike.
that. We have not had. I've said this 100 times on this podcast.
101 coming.
We've had so many close losses with an incompetent head coach.
Lynn.
We are a competent head coach away from winning some of those close losses. So to me, asking for 6 wins is not very difficult.
Preach.
And at a blue blood football program, you should not have to beg to make a bowl game. So I do not think 6-6 is like unreasonable expectations for year one. Chris, what do you think?
Nope. I think with what you have possibly back and what's new, and year ones are never easy, and you start off on the road, and I mean, it's never been a real convenient Big Ten school or a schedule for you. You get it done. You find a way to get to 6. You should have had 7 the last 3 years at minimum. You should have had 7 this year. If you don't screw it up, 6 at worst case scenario, right? So I think Rule can get him to 6, and I think that's probably his goal. Worst case.
Now, of course, looking at history, right, with Matt Rule,
It's 2-11.
His first year doesn't look
1
that
in
great
10
everywhere he's been. So
Of course.
I understand where you're coming from.
The good news is, even a
Sometimes he's
bad
done
year, even a bad year is still going to be pretty good historically for Nebraska right now. Looking at the schedule, honestly, the front half isn't terrible. I mean, obviously, you mix Michigan in there, which is a tough one.
You stop it. You stop looking at the schedule right now.
Stop looking at it.
No.
Yeah.
Don't even look. We don't care about the schedule. Because again, teams look at Nebraska and they go,
Win.
shit team. Just saying.
All bus.
Okay, but were they wrong?
No. That's what we're
That's what
saying.
I'm saying.
Yeah. So look at the schedule.
No. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Because what's a winnable is at Colorado winnable?
Total.
Yes, obviously.
Of course it is. It was in 2019 as well. And we were up by
20-0.
So just saying, stop looking at the schedule. Stop doing it. Now, hey,
That's an insane take.
now, no, it's not. Shut up. No schedules. The faceless opponent. That's how you got to look at it. Nebraska should look at themselves as the underdog from now on because, quite frankly, they are. That's just my opinion. They fucking suck.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Now look.
But are we the underdog against Northern Illinois in September?
What was the last?
Maybe.
Never mind. Do I have to bring that up?
No, please don't.
That's like a perfect opponent to bring
That's
up.
literally why I'm
Yeah.
saying what I'm
Go
saying.
Yeah.
Because if you would have in 2017, if
Who
you
was
was the schedule, you'd have said that's winnable.
Who was the head coach in 2017?
Doesn't matter.
Riley.
Sir.
Mr. Werthers.
Sir.
But Matt Hager, I will say, like, I'm on record as saying, if you look at Rule's track record, it's 1-11, 2-10, first year. If that happens first year here, as long as like I know that he's fucking burnt the whole thing down, I'll be okay with it. Because listen, I'm drinking the Roulade, aren't I?
Why?
I can't go back. What am I can't be a wishy-washy fuck about this. So, like, if I'm going to trust the process, like we all say we do,
Trust and
then
tread.
trust the process then. Don't be wishy-washy when his track record is literally 2 wins. It's on there. It's right there. Look it up. Don't jump off the train and get run over on the tracks.
Don't be
baby.
Scott Shanley.
A phoenix
Yeah.
from the ashes. Matt Rule, his autobiography.
Don't panic.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
What other questions we got? Oh, there we go. There's a hand.
Oh, we
okay.
got another.
Oh, we got a couple. All right.
Let's go.
do it.
This one's for the panel. Garrett Nelson, stay or go?
Garrett Nelson, stay or go?
Who wants to
Well,
start this?
are we asking, do we want him to, or is it
Is
done
he going
deal?
to stay or is he going to go? He'll probably get a 5th round NFL draft grade back.
5th round?
Yeah, put a hand up if you want to ask, or if you're saying, do we want him?
Yes, you want him.
I want him.
Yeah, I want him.
Yes.
Yeah, you want him. I think he'll decide to come back.
Yeah.
I think him and Reimer both want to go out along with Henrich with a bull win.
You use the word culture, and those are the type of guys that can help establish culture for the next regime, the Rule era. And so, yeah, I would think Garrett Nelson would want to. Being a Nebraska guy, we thought that with Ernest Hausman as well. So,
Yeah.
but you would think that Garrett Nelson being a team captain, a guy like that, he's going to want to come back and maybe improve his draft stock.
So
I mean, because I personally didn't see a lot from Garrett Nelson last year.
we joke a lot about, Garrett Nelson being a cheerleader.
He is a cheerleader.
Yeah.
Peter Pan as boy.
Yeah, being very flashy, like
Good guy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
But
Good dance moves.
as much as we joke about him being a cheerleader, he is a good player. He is a good presence for the team. I think it would be ridiculous to say that you don't want him. If the question was whether we think he'll stay or not, I couldn't see him leaving. I mean, I wouldn't be going to the draft with what he put up this season. So,
And going with your point, Coach Walker back there, Chris Schmidt, am I crazy, or was there like talk about Garrett Nelson wanting to transfer to somewhere else?
Oregon, right?
I had heard West Coast, but I think when push comes to shove, either he comes back or tries to go to the NFL. I don't think he grad transfers.
I'm gonna be that guy again and just say 47.3% of players. Like, if you enter that portal, you're either downgrading or you're going nowhere.
Unless he
47.3.
teams up with Casey Rogers, who's at Oregon.
Yeah,
that's what
fair.
I was
But
thinking at
that's-
Oregon. Yeah.
That's 2 years Casey has, though. I mean, Garrett's got 1. You're kind of established here. And this guy's just been in the NFL. So
Yeah. I think Garrett's been so vocal about his love for Nebraska. I think it'd be hard for him just to be like, yeah, I'm going to Oregon. Like, I don't. That would be
Go Ducks.
It'd be it would be a weird thing.
Yeah. All right, we had another question from the Mr. Iowa State fan up here.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
I'm kidding.
Is Chuba going to be the starter? No.
I'm so proud.
I'm only asking this because Jared said it was a good question.
King.
Did he feed you this question?
No,
No.
this is literally his question.
Nebraska fans love tradition. Do you
Yes.
think there's any like the tunnel walk or traditions that they should maybe not get rid of, but try something different just based on the unsuccessful last decade or whatever?
Sellout streak.
Hey, 2 decades, but go on.
Well, yeah.
So the question, if you didn't hear it, was, are there any traditions that Nebraska should try either updating or maybe letting go?
Mm-hmm.
they should update winning.
Yeah, well, that would be a great one, Chris.
That's a tradition.
Yeah, that would win
What good is a black shirt if you're giving up 650 to Georgia Southern? God damn it.
Yeah. But no, as far as traditions go, and I am adamant about this, I get the sellout streak is cool. Let it die. Let it die.
No, I disagree.
Let it die. It's meaningless.
Downsize the seats, put more sweets for you and your family.
Exactly, because I'm getting those for Christmas. Chris knows.
And just
Stocking stuffer.
go from 89,000 back to 76,000 like it was when I was growing up, and put some more suites in, and put a party deck in the south end zone, and maybe a hot tub, and away you go.
A little playground for
Chris,
the kiddies.
Chris, when they bring that beer in, I know a great place that sells
I
it.
know a place that is going to be selling it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That'll help you get your suite.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing here.
I was flippant with my black shirts remark. I'm just kind of, I'm not emotional at all, I swear. But like, seriously though, like, we're just gonna keep. You saw Trev Alberts give out black shirts to 2 basketball players. Now look, clear. I trust in Trev, right? Trust in Trev.
Tit. That's what it abbreviates to. Don't be weird.
Was I mad when he came out? Oh, no, why I wasn't mad? Because it's not really a thing anymore.
So
I'm sorry, but it's not.
Would you want to abandon the black shirts, or do you want to make it more exclusive?
If Matt Rule came out on Twitter with all his emojis, and he
ping pong, corn, eyes, star.
It's a emoji of a black shirt, emoji of a black
poison.
shirt with the X mark through it, because that would be like his Zodiac killer fucking message to all of us.
Is Matt Rule?
I'd be like, not mad, don't really care, just fucking win. Thank you. If you want to throw the bones, that's cool. I'll throw the bones too, but like, it doesn't need to be an official thing.
You want to know what tradition I want to
Whatever.
freaking kill? Lil Red. Just kill him.
Yes.
And we'll start winning games again.
The inflatable.
Live chicken.
Pop him.
Jobu's
Hear me out.
and just get rid of him.
Hear me out.
Bury him in the
Dispose
north
of
end
Lil Red, and we'll start winning games.
Hear me out. We put an altar on the 50-yard line. We sacrifice Lil Red.
You guys
the
will live
football
around when Tom Green bad things to Little Red.
Yes.
Yeah, did you guys get him? Did you see that? Show and tell.
Now look, they're updating Herbie because Herbie's a fucking travesty. Did you hear that? Did you see that fucking thing?
It's terrible.
It's
like it's like a hipster cowboy.
I've never wanted to fight a mascot before.
It's meth Herbie.
Yeah.
We need
Meth Herbie.
we need Trailer Park, Bush Light.
No, we need the old overall Herbie.
That's right.
Yeah.
We need fat blonde Herbie.
Yes.
I want a Herbie that just got off the farm.
He's seen some
walked
things.
into his home, hammered 6 beers, and just
Taco
sits on his
Besa
couch.
beers,
Yeah, of course,
Scare
Taco
the shit out of his
Besa.
kids.
Yeah.
I know there's at least one person in this audience that's got that old OG Herbie on his chest.
Where is that person at? Can you stand up for us?
There he is.
Yeah.
And a dude with a hat on too. Oh, the Herbie holding the number 1 needs to go.
All right. Any more questions?
Last call.
Or comments. Or
Comments,
heckling.
questions.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Personal insults.
All right, we just need some speculation
Oh boy.
Rumors.
on linebackers coach and receivers coach.
Mm.
No clue where that's headed.
So there's like I'm hearing.
I think Joe
That-
Daly is going to be your receivers coach.
There we go.
As far as linebackers, coach, go, man.
It's that guy.
Maybe the Carolina.
Yeah, the Panthers guy.
More Panthers.
Yeah, more Panthers.
The Corn Panthers. The Carolina Corn Panthers.
But I think Rude did a pretty good job with coaching the guys up. The linebackers are pretty thin. They got good by the end of the year. So
yeah. Joe Daly.
Bring him back.
The revenge of Joe.
Yeah.
Doesn't it, his wife's from Lincoln. Like it's fitting.
Joe Daly, does he want to leave the NFL to come to Nebraska? I mean, is that the...
He'll be hitting almost 7 figures to be quarterback's coach.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned that Joe Daly's
receivers.
wife is from Lincoln. I'm excited to get a guy in this program that has ties to Nebraska.
Oh, of course. Those work out really well.
Yeah, that's done great historically.
Really well.
I'm joking. But no, legitimate Joe Daly would be a great hire.
Okay. Anybody else? Oh, there he is. He's like, give me that.
There he is.
I knew Jake Curtis was going to pop up eventually.
The Jay
I knew
Scurr
his ass
himself.
was sitting
There he
back there.
We need security to remove security right now, please.
Yeah.
So this is going to be more towards Connor. but
I fucking knew it.
I want the panel to weigh in on this. Oh boy. Been seeing a lot of things, hearing a lot of things, mainly from Connor.
Yeah. Shocker.
So the transfer portal, these rankings, 24/7 Sports. I'm seeing we're ranked 16th, ranked 7th. Can you guys just go more in depth on these rankings of the transfer portal?
So we talked about this just before the episode, actually, talking about how all of these different sites will rank schools very differently. Curtis, Jake, I know you saw the video of my screen last night as I was talking shit, where 24/7 within 1 hour had Nebraska ranked at number 7 and then ranked at 16. On 3 currently has Nebraska ranked at 36. I think if you're really going into and you're putting stock in these rankings right now, everybody's going to rank them differently. Everybody has different, different rating mechanisms. I think you really just got to take a look at who the players are, where they've come from, what they've done, and what they've done for their programs, where they came from.
You're making this too Jake Curtis. If you ask Matt Rule this question, he will say, "To hell with your rankings."
No, I think the rankings are. It's so subjective for each individual ranking that there isn't really a whole lot of weight to any of them.
Nebraska was ranked 8th in the portal a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay?
How'd that go?
Well,
you got Trey.
They finished at 7.
You got Trey, and you had Casey, and you still lost.
You had O'Shawn.
8 games. O'Shawn showed up in the fourth quarter against Iowa.
One or two games that he showed up in.
It's about better than not at all.
Right.
So it really is going to be down to fit, buy-in, and what do you get out of them, right? Because they get dessert before dinner with NIL.
Yeah. And on that note, I will say, if you ever want to feel depressed, just go look at Ohio State's
don't do that.
commit list. I think like the first 10 people on that list, none of them rank lower than 25th in the country.
Even with Dylan saying nah,
yeah,
they're okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to feel better, go look at the re-ranking of Matt Rule's first 2 Baylor recruiting classes.
30s, 40s, right?
And they finished teens.
Yeah,
good. If you reconfigure them.
Yeah. I will also point out that I'm looking back at the 2022 rankings for the transfer portal.
Oh, shit.
And for a team that brought in an okay amount, Michigan is not even in the top 50. This list only goes to 50. Michigan, not even there.
They don't
take
need portals unless they're grad.
Yeah, they don't need it.
Yeah. Development.
They take Ernie Hausman. That's it.
Yeah.
We got one back there. Come on, King.
Okay. Again, a panel question here. We know nothing about Matt Rule. I come from the Bo Pelini ideology of things. If he signed a guy for 4 years, he planned to keep him for 4 years. We're in a new era now with the transfer portal. Say we have guys who aren't producing like they want to. Will Matt Rule tell them after 2 years, hey, it's time to cut you loose. We got to move on. We got Louis coming in. You know what I'm saying? Will he make those adjustments? Because I think in today's day and age, that's kind of important. So is he going to be a guy who sticks to a guy for 4 years, no matter how they're producing? A la, was it what Ben Hart's number, 74 or whatever?
54.
54. Or is he going to say, you got to move on and we're bringing new guys in?
I don't think you automatically punt guys that have played a lot of football for you. It's your job to get them to play better football, okay? Because that's Nebraska's problem been on the offensive line, is that they threw guys in as freshmen or redshirt freshmen and for whatever reason didn't have an offseason to develop. And you don't want to cut bait there and get back to the same square one, this never-ending cycle. So I think you stick with them, but they don't have to start. And it's their choice to stay with the program and either get better or get worse.
Yeah. I don't think anybody can say that better than that.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said, you didn't choose to come to play under me. I chose to coach you. So, okay, guys, I think that's going to wrap up.
Yeah.
I appreciate that table back there. I see you asking all the questions. All right, guys, let's wrap this sucker up. I am one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Oh, this is my turn. I was waiting for him to go.
Real quick. The last sign off.
Real quick before I sign off, I just want to say, raise a glass to you guys, because the greatest thing about this podcast is just 4 friends that get together every Monday, drink beer, and talk Nebraska football. It's the greatest pastime that you could possibly ask for, and the fact that we get to share that with you is a gift. So thank you for being here, and we appreciate you. So I'm Kyle Byers.
Now I feel like I got to take a drink. I'm Connor Cadillac.
And our special guest,
Chris Schmidt. Thank you guys for coming out. This was fun. Appreciate you.
and as always, beat Colorado in 263 days in GBR.
All right.
Welcome to NBNR, the authority on unfiltered opinions and authentic player insights for Nebraska athletics. Connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and at NBNRpodcast.com.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
You know, we just really love Otter. He's a junkyard dog. Kenny Bell ran up to me. He's like, you know what you just did?
Get mad. When you go get in the portal and go to another podcast?
You know, usually dumbbells are in pairs. They had 5 dumbbells.
Dang on it, Muhammad.
GBR.